Hi guys, it's me. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about something super duper duper serious. So recently I kind of came across this whole MeToo movement, and I did a little bit of research about it. It's in relation to sexual assault, sexual harassment. First, when I first saw it, I was like, I came across it because of a friend. And so she posted Me Too on her status, and then I saw it again, and then I saw it again. And I'm also part of a Facebook group that like is a women's empowerment group. So then I started seeing people post it on there. So I did my research and saw that it was about sexual assault, sexual harassment, and if this has ever happened to you in your life, then you post Me Too. So I was like, oh, okay, definitely been sexually harassed for sure, in the workplace, on the street, blah blah blah. I think most women have encountered like sexual harassment or whatever, to some degree, to some extent, and then sexual assault, which is a little bit heavier. I've experienced that too, and I was like, you know, Muslim women don't really talk about sexual assault, sexual harassment that much as a collective, but it definitely is something that happens to us as well. I think that in relation to that, people assume that, or people make assumptions based off of the premise that if you wear modest clothing or if you look a certain way, that men won't notice you, and in fact they avoid you, and in fact that you are just like a non-factor, like you're no longer, you know, a target because of the things that you wear. And I think that's false. To say that it's kind of like ridiculous. So rape and sexual assault and everything that is coined with that is based off of power. So the other person feels powerful and emboldened to do these things without your consent, and it doesn't really matter what you wear when it comes to power, right? Like sexuality could be correlated with, I guess, how you wear your clothes, but in relation to this, like, this is totally like a power thing. Like, I have the power to take away your consent, and I have the power to take away your yes or your no, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that is. So my story doesn't include, and this is a warning, like if this has affected you, like trigger warning, like obviously I'm going to include that in the title, but my story, or stories, because this has happened more than once, and each time it happened I blame myself. I blame myself for putting myself in a situation. Even talking about it, like, I blame myself for putting myself in a situation. I blame myself for putting myself in a situation. I tried to level with myself. I tried to talk to myself. What did I do? Like, how did I do it? And it has nothing to do with you, right? It has everything to do with the other party or the other person or this horrible, evil person. So this has happened to me twice in my lifetime. I'm going to talk about the second time because it's not as horrible. The first time was really bad, but the second time was like one time I was in college. I think this was my sophomore year of college, and I met a group of people, and they were wonderful and amazing, and they kind of like got me into this whole like self-awareness situation where I was like really trying to, like, I was like, oh my god, like I'm black and I'm African and I'm cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you get to college and you meet your, like, it's not necessarily like you meet your tribe, but you meet the people that you like when you go to college, like you kind of find yourself or whatever. So I went to college, and I met a group of people, and within this group of people was a guy. I didn't like him. I didn't. You know, he was just like that guy in the group that was a part of the group because, hold on, I'm sorry. He was like the guy in the group that was in the group because, I don't know if people pitied him, they genuinely liked him. Cause you know, it was a group of people I'm not trying to say anything, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but you know how you have a group of people that are a collective that look like each other, they sound like each other, what they say is like similar to, you know, each other's thought processes, and that's how they behave. Well, this guy is like, he's just the guy that's there, that's included in the group based off of race and ethnicity, like literally. Like the fact that this guy is, I won't say where he's from, like he's from another country and this is a collective of people from that country, and he's just there because he's there. Like I don't know how else to say it. So anyways, when I met this group of people, he was included, and I never thought anything about it. He was semi-funny to a little bit funny, and you know, he would make jokes, and it would just be like you know, whatever, like he's kind of funny but not really, you know what I'm saying? So he would always, God fucking me. So he would always be there, and I thought nothing of it. And so he was like cool enough to talk to. He was like not intimidating. So because a lot of the guys were like kind of like intimidating a little bit, especially like me coming whatever. He would just like, he was not intimidating to me. In fact, like he tutored me a little bit in math, and he tutored my friend he tutored my friend in math, and so I was just like, oh, you know, like he's not that bad. But then my friend like would tell me like, you know, I'm gonna call him Jamie. He's like a little bit aggressive, a little bit like sometimes, you know, he talks to me, and like sometimes he tries to put his hands on me, and I don't want him to put his hands on me. And you know, I just wish he would just like stop being so like aggressive or whatever. And I'm like, well, maybe, I don't know, like I don't know him, so I don't know him enough to judge his character. But maybe, you know, he's just being aggressive because he really likes you, which is such a dumb statement. Maybe he's just being aggressive because he really likes you. He really just wants to, like, you know, just, I don't know, because he admitted to me that he liked her. So I was like, you know, maybe just like keep your distance, but like, you know, whatever. And so based off of that, like he told me he liked her before, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, shoot your shot, but you know, whatever. And if she turns you down, just keep it moving. Like so he will always talk to my friend. I thought he liked her, whatever, cool. So I'm thinking like, there's no way in hell he could like me. Don't want him to like me, don't care if he likes me. So one day, you know, I was bored. Who can I call? Like, who can I call? I'm like, the only person I know who probably isn't doing anything in the area is Jamie. So I'm like, I called him, I hit him up. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just chilling, I'm cooking food. You hungry? I'm like, yeah, I'm really hungry, I'm bored. So my dumb self, I went there. I went to his area, his spot, and I'm like, you know, is anybody there? Like, what's the tea? Like, whatever. It's like, no, it's just me. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went over there after class or whatever, and which was stupid. I don't know. I never found him like aggressive or anything, but I went over there, and when I got there, it wasn't no food there. And I'm like, where's the food? Like, I didn't come over here to just chill. I'm kind of hungry. So he's like, you know what, I can run, I could go get some food real quick, and I can, you know, don't worry, I'm gonna go get some food. I'm like, I can come with you. He's like, no, just chill. So I stayed there. I got on my laptop, I did some assignments. I remember just, you know, like walking around, you know, the place was real small, so it wasn't much to do. And so he came back like 30 minutes later, and I was like, okay, cool. So we sat down at this little table. You know how first apartments are, a little square table. We ate, we talked a little bit, and then you know, I sat down on the couch and proceeded to like chill and just watch TV and chill on my laptop. But then something like in my gut was like, okay, it's probably time for you to leave. And no, it's not because I just wanted food. It was literally like, something just told me like, it's time for you to leave. And so I got up, and at first I was just like, well, I'm just trying to make conversation with him, and as a friend, as a platonic ass friend, like I was just trying to make conversation. And so when he sat down on the couch with me, he got closer. He like literally intentionally like did the whole like date couch thing, like, and I'm like and because it was like a good distance between us, which is how I like it. And so he sat next to me a little bit more, and then he did it a little bit more, and I'm like, what are you doing? Calm down. And he's like, oh, I just want to, you know. And then he like put his hand on my thigh, and I was like, ugh. So I was like, I almost said his name, Jamie, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to, you know, be here. I don't want to be here under the premise that anything's gonna happen. And you know, for some reason, when men think that you like buy them stuff, or you get them something, that automatically is like a pass to like to touch you, or to be promiscuous with you, or to like touch you without your consent, or just like you owe them something. So maybe they get you something now, and then like if they hit you up later, there's an expectation there that you're gonna do something for them. And it's like, no, like if I fill your gas tank up as your friend, me filling your gas tank, like, and I say it's cool, it's good, like there's no expectations. Even if I don't say that, there shouldn't be like this like pending transaction type thing. I'm your friend. I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. I'm not doing it because I expect something. You know what I'm saying? So so he touched my thigh, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't want to do that. Like, don't touch me. Like, we're completely platonic. Like, I just wanted to like drive the point. And he's like, you know, yeah, but you know, I like you, like whatever. And then he put his arm around my shoulder, and I was like, okay, I don't know how else to say this. Can you please not put your arm on my shoulder? Like, we are so platonic, it's not even funny. In fact, you told me you like my friend, so there shouldn't be any like thing here. Like, there shouldn't be anything here. Like, this shouldn't. And he proceeded to like wrap his arm around me tighter. He's like, no, but it's cool though. And at this point, it was like, it was a little bit too tight, and so I stood up because it kind of like gave me like this weird icky feeling. And so he kind of stood up immediately with me, and I'm like, what is he freaking doing? Like, just leave me alone. So I'm like, you know, I was like, you know, I'm gonna go. Like, this is not my, you know, just chill. And I'm normally like a really aggressive person in life. Like, I could be a lawyer. That's how aggressive I am. Like, people have told me that. But when I get around aggressive men, for some reason, like this whole like, when you're afraid, I don't think it's like aggressive men. It's the fear of like somebody doing something they don't have any business doing. Like, I get really like frozen, and I'm trying to learn or condition myself to not be like that, because that's like a fight or flight situation, and mine is like, I don't fight and I don't flee, I freeze. And it's like, oh my god, if I just stand still, really still, like the situation will go away. Like, I do that, and I'm trying to stop, but it's really hard. And anyways, he got up with me, and then he started like touching me, and I'm like, bro, and I'm like I'm like freezing, like in my, like I can't move, like I'm frozen. And I'm like, please, just like, you know. So he put his arms around me, like he's like trying to like get me to kiss him at this point. I'm like, stop. And then he like puts his arms around me like this, and so now I really can't move, and like he's like trying to like push me like to kiss him, like, and he's a thin dude, I'm a thick girl, like I'm not a thin girl. So I'm thinking like I should be able to get this dude off of me, and it was not happening. Like biologically, men are just stronger, it just is what it is. And so I'm trying to push him off of me, and at this point my voice, I'm feeling like it's amplified enough, but it's not, like it's not helping, like my nose are not like driving to the point. And so at this point I'm trying to like fight him off of me, and he's smiling because he thinks this is okay, and I'm like, no, this is not fucking okay, bro. And so so then he like pushes me down on the ground, and at this point I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to get raped. Because I'm saying no a lot, like no, stop, please stop, no. And I'm like, I'm about to get raped, like I'm frozen, like I'm like, damn, like how did I fucking put myself in this? These literally like several thoughts are like pushing through my mind, and I'm like, this is my fault, I should never have came here. Like, so I'm like I'm sitting there, like he's like trying to like get to the point. I don't want to be too like vulgar, but he's just like trying to get to the point. And then and finally I like muster up this scream, and we're in an apartment building, so people in this building, I don't know why I'm making that a point, but usually, I mean, people are people, but I'm screaming. Like I started screaming, and I got one good scream, and I was like, I just yelled stop really loud, and so he stopped finally. And he got up, he stood up like really calmly. He got up, he's in the studio, by the way, so everything is just out and open. He sat on his bed, he turned around, he kicked up his feet, he turned to his computer and started like typing on his computer, like just not like nothing happened. And I'm just standing there like, what the flying fuck just happened? I'm looking like, are you gonna say anything? He's like laying on the bed like relaxed, calm, no worries. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, fuck it, you know what, let me just grab my stuff. It's not for me to understand. I'm not trying to like get an explanation at this point, because I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm in a small space, the door's right there, my stuff is right there. Get my stuff. I left, I walk out of the apartment, I'm kind of like disheveled. I get in my car, I didn't even like wait, I drove off, and I drove straight to my parents' house. I sat in the driveway, I cried a little bit. I was like, I felt violated. I felt like, that's my friend, why did he do that to me? Yeah, so it was weird. And the first person I called is a girl, one of my friends, one of my girlfriends. And I said, hey. She's like, what's up? I'm like, I think something bad just happened. And then I explained the situation. Now I'm gonna make a note that, no, I'm not gonna make a note because I don't want to stigmatize anybody. I texted her, I told her, and her first response was, well, why were you there? Was I there? What the fuck do you mean, why was I there? Why was I there? because it's my friend. Like, what are you talking about? Well, you shouldn't have been there. You put yourself in that situation. Wow. Cool. Didn't know that. This is very enlightening. And I know a lot of Muslim people are going to be watching this, and I'm going to say Muslim people sometimes, like any other religion, have the, like, I'm not saying all, because a lot of my friends are very understanding, and we are human beings. Like, we're susceptible to fuck ups. Like, it's just the way it is. And you know, they'll say, why do you put yourself in a situation? You should know better. You should be a religious person. You should not be around men, like, obviously. And my rebuttal for that is save it, number one, because a lot of Muslim teens and youth and 20s and 30-year-olds do this, and people just think that we stick to our Quran and we don't do anything else. Like, and for me, I wasn't there to like just like be there. I had a purpose. Like, I was gonna eat, I was gonna study, I was gonna leave. Those were my purposes. And I wasn't there to be sexual, to be promiscuous, to be anything. I was literally there to do that. And I'm not explaining myself because I don't feel like it warrants an explanation. At the same time, I know there's going to be people who say, why were you there? Why did you put yourself in that situation? And that's my rebuttal for that. The next person I called was a now not friend of mine. But he was like really a close friend of mine at the time. And I called him and I said, you know, I was crying. I'm like, you know, this so-and-so did this to me. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna talk to him. And then he called him and talked to him and kind of like gave an explanation as to why he did it. And I was like, are you defending this person? He's like, no, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying this is a part of our culture. Like, you know, sometimes when women say no, we think they're like, they don't mean it. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I don't. So if I'm saying no, that means I want it? Like, no means fucking no. I called my last friend, and that's my best friend right now. One of my best friends, and she kind of like fucking understood, because it happened to her. And it's like, why don't people get, like, if it didn't happen to you, you should still have sympathy and empathy for the person that it did happen to. About it. And she didn't even have, like, it's like nobody had enough sympathy to me. Like, everybody was just like, oh, this is something that happens, and this is the life, and this is the world, and just think better and do better and be more careful. And like, sometimes it's like it's your friends that do that to you. It's your family members that do that to you. Especially, there's a stipulation in the Black community, like, what happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors in the family. And like, that's why there's a lot of familial rapes in the Black community, because nobody talks about them. And you know, you have mothers' boyfriends or fathers or mothers raping their children, and nobody talks about it. You have a fucking nasty uncle who puts his hands on your ass, and nobody talks about it. Like, this happens in the Black community, and we just say, shh, don't tell anybody, you know, you'll get over it. We stigmatize psychological therapy and therapists, and getting yourself a therapist and talking to somebody, and we stigmatize and we demonize, like, people who talk about things openly within our Black households, because rape is like this like thing that is, you know, bad, but we should shut up about it because there's worse things that happened to us as Black people. And it's like, no, rape is fucking horrible. Rape is bad. Sexual assault is bad. Sexual harassment is bad. And people need to talk about it. And it shouldn't be like this family secret. It shouldn't be like this secret in the Black community that we get raped and we get sexually assaulted. And it's probably at a higher rate than everybody else because nobody cares about Black people. So, yeah. And I told all my Black friends, I told all of them, and it was like nobody cared. like that happened to me before. And I didn't even tell anybody the first time. I told nobody. Second time that it happened, I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell somebody this time, because I don't want this to happen to somebody else, because he went to the same school as me. So it's like, this could potentially like go escalate further, like, because it stopped with me yelling, but it could happen again. And everybody was like, oh, it's not a big deal, like, just next time don't put yourself in that situation, you know, don't talk to him, avoid him. Why do I have to avoid somebody at my university where I should feel comfortable to like walk around? And I had to stop being around those people and being around that friend group because he was always fucking there, and I had to stop being around them and chilling with them and being at their table because I was the bad person, and he was going to stick around regardless, and he's still to this day in that same group, and I won't hang out with them. I just wanted to say, like, if this has happened to you, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, and it's not your fault. Women, period. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. There's nothing that's in your power to withstand somebody who has an idea and a plan to make you their victim. Like, there's nothing that you can do. There's tactics and things that you can do in relation to like self-defense and these things, but I'm saying like the physical act and the environment and etc. Like, you can walk down the street and be sexually assaulted. You can be in your workplace and be sexually harassed. You can be in a friend's home and be sexually violated and raped. Like, those are things that happen, and people think that if you are with friends, if this happens to you and your family, then it's not really considered, and rape is not even considered. But this, like, friendship and this arena of family and friendship, like, those things are considered. And I just think that that discussion needs to, especially with like people like Betsy DeVoe and, you know, trying to like take down these shield laws for rape at college campuses, because the rapist should be protected and the rapee like should be neglected. Like, women like her make me want to throw up, because it's so hard to report college rape, let alone rape. And it's like, we try to like shield these people, like we don't want to ruin their lives. And my whole thing for not even reporting him is because I didn't want to ruin his life, because he wasn't a freaking citizen and he could be deported and he's on a scholarship and blah blah blah. And people told me that, like, don't say anything. So I just wanted to say, I just wanted to share my story, because I just feel like, you know, it should be told. Like, this kind of stuff happens every single day and we don't do anything about it, and I just wanted to share it. So maybe karma's real, like, for women. Maybe karma is like this huge like thing in the afterlife called hell, and I hope all the fucking rapists go there. Like, and maybe that's karma. Maybe we just don't know it, because people rarely get justice for rape. Like, for real. Like, people rarely get justice for like sexual assault, because it's such a taboo. Like, it's such a taboo. And with men pulling the strings, it's like, You have to be a feminist at this point. You cannot not be a feminist. You can't. And you think it won't ever happen to you, and I hope it never does. But it happens every day, all the day, every 6 seconds. Every 6 seconds. Every 6 seconds. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope you guys have a good day. I'm out of here. Yeah. Bye.